Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. Here again with Doug Mackay.
Hello.
Wanted to revisit an old topic in one of my older videos. Should we or should we not kill Bigfoot? Now, I'm very interested in hearing your thoughts about it because we haven't talked about it too much.
I kind of made my opinion known in the podcast,
Right.
the Bigfoot episode, where I said that 100% I believe that a dead body is going to be the only way that it will be conclusively proven to be real.
And I agree with that. A lot of other people agree with that, but morally, would you condone the killing of one to
Yes.
prove its existence?
I would, personally.
Okay.
A lot of the times, so there was a fish that we used to think was extinct until a few years ago they caught one and we're like, oh, it's not extinct. But they didn't throw it back. You know, they got it up on the deck and we're like, what is this crazy looking thing? And then they took it to like scientists and stuff and they're like, oh, this is what we thought was an extinct creature.
Right.
Things have to, I'm not going to say things have to die. Like, when it comes to something that is so supposedly rare that you can't take a biologist out into the field and be like, look, there's the creature we were looking for. When something is that rare, where that's just not a possibility, you're gonna need a dead body. And because so far, scientifically, what we know is that there's never been a dead body found. There's a lot of debate on that right now.
Well,
But
I don't know. There's a lot of reports of bodies turning up and then obviously disappearing.
yeah. But then you have to ask, and there's a lot of people that I've seen in the threads, comments and stuff, like, why would people want Bigfoot bodies to disappear? And why hide the evidence?
The cases where the bodies disappeared has to do with like government cover-up usually, right?
Yeah. And I just don't understand
Because of the implications on like industry.
what industries.
Like logging, oil and gas, mining, all that kind of stuff.
The way I see it,
Because it would be in the habitat of an incredibly like endangered or rare.
okay, well,
Species.
let's talk about specifically the United States. Because in the United States right now, something like 80% of protected land is about to be put up or about to be like unprotected they're trying to discontinue the protection of that land. The government doesn't give 2 scoops of raisins in your Raisin Bran about Bigfoot or any other animals, man. They want their money, and they're gonna get it. And if that means tearing down some forests and ruining some like national parks and lands, they're gonna do it. We have the same issue in Canada.
They could also just cover it up and then carry on with their business without anybody being like super angry about it.
People are always angry about it, though.
I know, but a creature was out and it was a Bigfoot and it was incredibly human-like and close to human. What are you looking at?
Sorry, just a tear.
Then obviously it's going to be a lot more intense than if it was like, I don't know, a type of bear or, you know, an actual like animal. It's going to be a different story if it's a Bigfoot.
I disagree. And
Really?
here's why. Yeah, here's why. Because if you find a Bigfoot, let's say in the Rocky Mountains, then you're going to be like, well, we don't know if this creature lives anywhere outside of this area, so all that other land's still up for grabs.
But then if the body is found, there's going to be people out looking, like actual scientists. Like if it's proven to exist.
You just took a dump on like Dr. Blakenagel? What was his name? Bindernagel?
Dr. Bindernagel!
I said it.
He butchers all the names of these like important people in the Bigfoot research.
I wasn't the one who just said that they weren't real scientists, so that was you.
I don't mean Okay, I'm talking about like mainstream scientists, like from you, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean, but here's also
The
the other
scientists right now that aren't into Bigfoot, there's only a few who are like dedicated to like risking their careers to proving Bigfoot. The ones that aren't doing that right now, that won't want to touch it, they're going to be going in, and it's going to be like a real thing.
Here's the thing. When it comes to like scientific aspect, when it comes to like researchers and stuff like that, the community seems to believe that no legitimate scientist has ever looked into this. Like, no... Like, the reason that so many scientists don't touch it anymore is because scientists in the past did, and we're like, there's nothing there.
How do you know that?
Because I listened to, like,
or they could just be saying that.
So now you're... This
Because
is...
there's the other ones that have dedicated all the time. Like, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And effort.
I know it does. Hold on.
Work.
Let me find my
And
Microsoft Word.
John Bindernagel and Jeff Meldrum have both put in a lot of time and work.
But you
have dedicated their careers to this stuff. Like,
yeah. Yes, I know. Where is it? So... Oh, God. Where is it? There was, Oh, it was Brian Sykes. He did a 3-year Oxford study on DNA samples and stuff like that, and nothing came up as...
it probably came up as human or something else. Right? What did it come up as?
There was one human. We had... Okay, so...
And we've talked about the DNA thing before.
Yes,
about
a 3-year Oxford study in 2012 by Brian Sykes collected supposed hair samples from all over the world, from museums and private collectors alike. 36 samples from the US, Russia, Indonesia, India, Bhutan, and Nepal. The results came back with a number of results including bears, wolves, raccoons, porcupine, deer, sheep, at least one human, and a cow. Sykes added, just because none of these samples came back as Bigfoot doesn't mean the next one won't.
Well, exactly. And you could get hair from anything out in the forest. Like, the person recovering it is not going to know it's a Sasquatch hair unless he actually goes up and pulls it off of the Sasquatch, right? You could find any kind of hair out in the bush. You can see it on the ground, on trees.
I don't think I've ever seen hair.
You've never seen hair? Well, you don't get out in the bush that much.
No, but even still, like, I don't know. I don't see hair in general very often. It's thin. Doesn't catch my eye.
But usually out in the wilderness you'll find it where there was like a kill.
Oh.
Or something of that nature, like a predatory kill.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd find clumps of it.
Right. If you want the Bigfoot conspiracy closed down, you want it to be 100% concluded with this is a real thing. You need the body, and because there's, as far as we know, and scientifically speaking, there's been no public evidence, we'll say, of Bigfoot bodies being found, then it's on the researchers, the enthusiasts, and the explorers to go out there and bring one back. And if you have to shoot one to do it, I think by all means do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a big problem would be like the odds of actually killing it if you open fire on it. That's a big risk, man.
Shoot lots.
It's like hard to take down a grizzly bear that's charging at you.
Well, then bring a gun that would kill a grizzly, because the chances are it'll kill a friggin' Bigfoot. Unless they are interdimensional. And
like the moral... it's another topic. The moral factor of it. Like, would you shoot a chimpanzee? Or like a gorilla?
No, because I know they exist already. I think you should be willing to go as far as necessary. If you want this to be... Look, the Bigfoot community is scrutinized all the time by skeptics and supposedly by mainstream science. I've never personally heard of, like, mainstream science being like, what a bunch of idiots. Like, most
happens a lot.
Most mainstream scientists are like, we have other things to worry about. we're not going to spend our time talking down to the Bigfoot community. But if you want the criticism to stop and to be taken seriously, then you're going to have to go to extreme lengths to be like, this is it, man. Here's the evidence. Here's the proof. All on the table.
Yeah.
And if there is some weird government conspiracy to cover it up, well, then it doesn't matter what you do.
There was a researcher you all know, probably Grover Krantz. He would always say, like, we need one body. We can just go out and get one body, and that'll be it.
That's pretty much all you need.
But then he got ripped apart by everyone else. Everyone was against it.
I don't understand why. Either you cherish this creature so much.
I think it's a moral thing for people. Like, it would be murder. Like, a lot of people say it'd be like murder because it's so human-like. And you know, they're so rare. Like, why would you go out and kill one? I don't know if it's like a moral thing or if it's just people trying to be politically correct nowadays.
Look, if the thing is, even if it's the last one on Earth, all right? If it's the last Bigfoot,
It's gonna die.
it's either gonna die and we'll never know it existed, or you kill it and we know it existed and then that was the last one. No one's gonna be like, you're the one who made it extinct. It was going extinct anyway.
Right. That's a good point.
Like, and if they're just like small pockets or whatever, then killing one and taking it. It's not like killing one Bigfoot. If they've survived this long in like small communities and stuff, killing one's not going to destroy the whole species unless there's only one male in that whole group.
But if they have like a really advanced like thought process and are a lot like us, what are they going to think of us if we went out and shot one of them?
Well, apparently they already don't like us.
Well, we don't know we don't know that for a fact.
Well, they seem to hide from us pretty well.
Okay.
That was a struggle to get out.
But we don't know why.
Well, I'm imagining it's
We don't
not
know.
'cause
We
they're-
don't know facts. Is the thing. Like we don't
Yeah.
know.
But I'm imagining it's probably because they're not big fans.
No, probably not.
Like if I saw Will Smith as a fan, I wouldn't be like, can't let him see me. I'd be like, yo, Will, what up, my dude? Like, that'd be me. You know?
You're not gonna go burn his house down and then be like, "Yo, Will."
No. I might dig through his trash
Yeah.
and like try and get his DNA and clone him, but just kidding.
I don't know. And then another thing is like, if you shoot at it, like, what happens if, it comes at you and attacks you, or other ones come, and then you're in for a
Well, then they find your
real
body.
nice evening.
I guess one of the hardest things about it is that, like, if you're gonna go out to hunt a Bigfoot,
I would be scared
unquote.
of what's gonna happen after. Like, say you're out in the bush, you shoot one. You're like, okay, now I got this 800-pound body.
Yeah, I was just gonna
gotta
say you can't go alone because you have to have enough people to drag this thing out of the bush.
or cut a part of it off or something,
fair.
right?
That's fair. Cutting a chunk. Carry around a Bigfoot head.
Obviously, you're
I
gonna
recently
photograph.
saw something about a Bigfoot
That's
head.
the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I
This
never saw
Bigfoot
the
head
video.
floating around, not real.
I never saw the video, but I
Don't
heard.
even
Oh, you?
bother.
I think you
I
told
was
me
telling
about
you about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you're in the forest, you got this body. Then you're like, oh, it's getting dark out. I better, turn in for the night. I would be really uneasy wondering if more of these 800-pound things are gonna just attack me in the middle of the night and crush my skull with a big rock.
Well, if they did,
know?
then you'd know that they had the process to be vengeful.
But it wouldn't
The
matter
thought
because you'd be
process.
dead.
But someone would notice. They'd be like, well, something ripped this dude apart. Like,
Or they cover it up.
the Bigfoot's covered up?
No, the government.
Oh.
Whoever search and rescue,
Wow.
they're obviously gonna report that.
Yeah, I'd say. But,
Man, ripped apart by Sasquatch.
It's
Wouldn't
way
be
to
a
go.
headline in the news, probably.
no. I think it'd be a great headline in the news.
I don't think it would
reporters
be in the news, though.
Reporters would jump on that. It's a problem, man. It's hard to cover stuff up nowadays. We got Freedom of Information Act. We got reporters
But
that are
still,
more nosy than anything.
information
We got
is-
the dark web.
Information is twisted and manipulated.
Either way.
I think you would be running into a lot more problems if you shot at a Bigfoot.
I don't.
I think, to me, I'd be perfectly fine just seeing it, knowing for myself that it was real, and just letting it go. You know what I mean?
I don't think you would be okay with that, though.
I think
You
there
say
would be
that now?
might be a little bit of struggle on the inside.
Yeah, you would see it and be like, holy crap, I saw one. And then you'd be like, now I want to know what it is, man.
But,
Like,
yeah, that's the thing, though.
like I said, if you want all the answers, Bigfoot body is the only way to do it. On topic, yes, I think that killing a big... I don't think there's anything wrong with killing a Bigfoot. I think people are... There was an idea that someone threw my way, might have been you, that some people don't want the Bigfoot question answered because
All the
it's
fun's
so...
over.
Yeah, it takes...
I think either way, if a body was brought in, it wouldn't end, like... It would be a huge, like, window for discussion, and still going out into the woods and looking. You know what I mean? Like, just because one is found and turned in doesn't mean, like, the whole Bigfoot topic's toast for people.
Yeah. Like, some people have made a living off of Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. Rod landings. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think they might be the ones that are conflicted on whether or not they want the discussion closed, you know? Yeah.
Because
when you put your whole life into
it's a lot
something,
of revenue down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm not a big money guy. I'm a big, like, obviously...
Well, there's people out there that are genuinely interested in the subject and want information and are curious because it's such an interesting subject.
For me, like if I wholeheartedly believe that Bigfoot was a real thing and I wanted to prove it, the reason that I'd be willing to go out and shoot something is because I don't give a crap about the money that comes along with making content and keeping the mystery alive. I'm egomaniacal a little bit in the sense that, like, I want to prove it's real so that everyone knows I'm the guy that got the Bigfoot, and I brought it to the forefront, and I closed the chapter. I ended the discussion.
I honestly don't think I want to be that guy.
Why not?
As myself, I don't think I could handle the life afterwards.
You mean of all the hate and all the love from both sides?
Just the attention in general. Like, I know I'm making videos and putting them on YouTube, but in my core, I'm a pretty shy person. And it's hard enough for me to make videos of myself and put them on the internet. But just, can you imagine, like, if you're the guy who shoots Bigfoot and proves it's real, like, your life would be chaos from, like, till the day you die, I bet.
I don't think it'd be till the day you die. I think you'd have a lot of people, like, hitting you up on the internet and stuff like that.
What do you think Patterson's life was like after, till the day he died?
Well, he's probably live for very much longer.
I know, but still.
I mean, I don't know.
I
think Bob's life settled down in his later years.
I know, but he even said that. Didn't you say that he said?
Yeah, he wasn't. There's some quote that I saw where he said he wishes he didn't even that he wasn't a part of it at some point. But that was like when people were calling him a liar and people were showing up at his house asking him to take them on Bigfoot expeditions and all this stuff. And I think when it was all fresh, it caused some chaos in his life, but it slowed down.
Yeah, but you know how many angry people there would be calling you like a murderer? Like, you killed, it's human almost. Like,
here's the thing, man. You can call me whatever you want to call me. If I'm okay with what I did, I'm okay with what I did.
People get murdered over crap like that, man.
Yeah, well, if you think I murdered a Bigfoot when I shot it, and then you come to me and kill me, you're no better. So,
good point.
I mean, in my opinion, you're worse, because I'm a living, breathing human being with a for sure known consciousness, and you just showed up and murdered me. I don't know if a Bigfoot has a consciousness or not. I'm just shooting at an animal in that case. And I'm not real big on anthropomorphizing. It sounded wrong saying it that slow, but I'm pretty sure I pronounced it right. Anthropomorphizing animals and stuff like that. I just don't have a tendency to do it very often. So seeing a Bigfoot, if I know that I look at a Bigfoot and I'm like, that's definitely not a human, I'm not going to project my human traits onto it, which is why I'm not going to feel bad if I end up shooting it and killing it.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing when it comes to like people who are against hunters and stuff like that. It's because they're like, that deer just wanted to live its life. And you're like, it probably didn't want anything. It was just living.
Something's gonna come along eventually and take it off.
It's meant to be killed. Like, there's a reason why they breed like friggin' rats. It's because they get eaten all the time.
I just know for me, I'm gonna be going to my camera first, obviously. Though I do carry a firearm whenever I'm out in the woods, like outside of parks.
Because there's bears.
Mostly because of like predators, and it
badgers, man.
Gives me a good, I don't know, more confidence. And I know a lot of people hate me for that, for carrying a gun.
But you gotta be careful, man. Out in the boonies where them hillbillies at.
These places that
last thing you'll see when you find your camera, and all you'll hear is ding 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 ding.
Deliverance action going on. Yeah. The places I go to, like around Nordig, have a lot of grizzly bears, and like everyone I know who goes like hunting in those areas are like, yeah, you should be bringing a gun, a shotgun or something. And I agree with them, because every time I've gone out to those areas, I've seen grizzly bears, and I'm not going to take that chance.
Justin wants to die for Bigfoot, not for grizzly bears.
A grizzly bear attack would not be my favorite way to go.
I don't think there's any good way to go.
And people say they can, like, the Bigfoot can identify, like, a rifle, and they know what that is, and then they're going to stay away from you and not show themselves. I don't know. I don't know what I think.
Strong disagree.
People also think that the Sasquatch can, like, sense your intentions, kind of, and, like, your heart, and, like, why you're there, and, like, they'll show themselves to people who are almost, like, worthy. You know what I mean?
That's a recent interview I heard with Bob Gimlin.
Right.
He said something about that, about they show themselves to you when they think that you're worthy.
I think rifle or not, an animal can sense your intention. Like your dog can sense how you're feeling, I bet.
Interesting story, actually. Not even a story. Interesting fact. Fun fact. Just learned it yesterday. Dogs are about 3 times smarter than cats and have more are more intelligent than most animals on the planet, based solely on the fact that they're, I think it's the central cortex, a part of their brain holds more neurons than other parts, indicating that they can absorb and maintain intelligence more. I'm pretty much butchering what I heard, but essentially, like dogs are up there, elephants are up there, and everybody thinks like this is actually a good example of like anthropomorphizing like animals and stuff. People are like, oh, cats aren't dumb, they're just assholes. No, cats are dumb, like because they evolved alongside humans but weren't domesticated by us necessarily. They kind of they domesticated themselves because we attracted rats and rodents, and so they just kind of like, we're like, well, there's humans attract these things that we eat, so we might as well hang out. Whereas dogs, we brought in and then bred certain ways and like basically evolved alongside them and kind of like pushed them in a certain direction. So obviously smarter dogs would get bred more and pass on that intelligence or the potential for intelligence down the line. You know how evolution works. But yeah, so like maybe as an intelligent creature, then yes, it could probably sense some intention, because dogs. But that's, I mean, it's hard to say because, like I said, dogs grew up or evolved alongside human beings and were like trained and bred by us. So, like, I just recently saw a thing on Daily Planet where they talked about how dogs can actually identify how you're feeling based on your face. Like, they have like facial recognition where they can see if you're sad or happy. Which, I mean, I guess if Bigfoot evolved alongside us in the sense that it watched us evolve and then passed that information and that intelligence down generation to generation.
I'm sure they watch people, obviously, when they're in the areas, right?
Creepy, man. But that's the thing, is like, intention is hard. Sometimes I don't know what people's intentions are.
No, people can be
Yeah.
deceiving.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But maybe it's beyond just looking and what you see, and more of like a feeling thing. Maybe they have those capabilities to like sense someone's feelings.
Yeah.
If that's another whole other science, really, and
Yeah.
mystery.
I don't even know. Like, yeah, I don't know what the sitch is on stuff like that, but
It can go off into really weird, fringy kind of.
like they can see your aura.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
But just to drive the point home, I think that if you want this discussion ended with no reason to doubt, you're going to need a body. And since we haven't been finding any just lying around, you might have to take a little bit of a... you might have to take some initiative and maybe end a life a little early.
And also be willing to close the book, kind of, on the subject.
You should... let's say the perfect person to take down a Bigfoot would be the person that's like, I want to prove that it's real. I don't have any moral qualms with how it's done. It's just an animal, and if I can get a body in, then I should do it, and I know how to shoot.
Yeah.
Those are your four traits that you should have. Like, you got to be willing to end the discussion on whether it's real or not, and then be able to take the shot and live with
And
yourself
deal
after.
with, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Deal with the consequences. And there's people out there trying to do it that way too.
See, and like I've never. They seem to be in like the shadows of the Bigfoot community because
Of course, because they're shunned.
Yeah, people are so angry. I want to know why. Leave in the comments actually why you think we shouldn't do it.
For me, like I said, morally, and I don't know, I wouldn't want to take something away that potentially like has a family and is so close to human. And I know it makes me sound like a little bitch, but
Language.
oh, I'm sick of you.
Sick of you.
I don't want to, like, I don't think I can deal with the consequences after. I don't think I could deal with that life.
The backlash.
No, I think I would just
Both the.
It would be, if
Both
I did
the-
it, I would have to give the body away, like, anonymously and just slip away into the shadows. You know what I mean?
Like a true
I don't
murderer.
think I would tell anyone. Though you would get all the publicity that you could ever dream of, and there'd be money probably. Like, I would rather just slip away if it came to that. The only way I would ever shoot one, I think, and like try to kill it, is if I was getting like harassed or attacked, or I felt like my life was in some serious imminent danger. Then I'd be opening up with everything I had.
But then you're going to be dealing with the people that are like, that's nonsense. You just don't want to deal with the backlash.
Oh, the camera would be rolling as well the whole time.
Oh, you're going to film yourself murdering a Bigfoot?
Well, I'm going to have the cameras rolling and audio equipment rolling 24/7, basically, whenever I'm out in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see. Maybe I'm cold-hearted. I just don't see the reason not to do it as a moral issue. Because, I mean, collectively, humans have killed billions of animals, caused extinctions.
Lots of people.
Yeah. And maybe what is the word for it? Diffusion of responsibility. Maybe I look at it that way, where I'm like, if I'm just killing one animal and it's for a greater good, which is to like definitively prove its existence, then some of that responsibility is, or some of that burden, I guess, is pushed off my shoulders. I don't feel like it's a wrong thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have our opinions on the topic now.
here's the other thing, though. For anyone who thinks I should just own up to how I talk or whatever, go out and shoot a Bigfoot, I've never hunted in my life.
He doesn't even get outside much.
I hate the outdoors. The only time
That's
I go
the sad
outside is to
thing.
play paintball.
You'd wonder, why am I making these videos with this guy?
Yeah.
Reason being, he's actually really smart and full of wisdom. And he's a very critical thinker, and I don't know.
Yeah, I changed a lot in the last few years. Because before any of this came about, I was wholeheartedly, I was like, Illuminati's real, aliens are here, I was abducted by
I do
aliens.
need someone to keep me from believing that unicorns and mermaids are real.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I didn't have him,
he dives into the pool of belief.
Oh yeah.
Without even testing to see if the water's hot or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like,
gotta be careful.
I've said it in like every video I've ever been on of yours, and every podcast pretty much. But like, believe something because it's believable, not because you want to believe it.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to distinguish.
Sometimes it's hard, yeah. So, we take mental shortcuts sometimes to make it so that we think we can believe it. But
you ever heard stories about where people like make something up and then they like think about it so much and talk about it, they eventually start like believing that it's a real thing.
Believe in their own hype. When you tell a lie so many times that you believe that it's true,
yeah, that
it actually happened, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
100%. And it's just kind of the way the brain is wired. So, like, and it could be why, like, really popular stories become so popular and become so easily absorbed, I guess, is because they're told over and over and over again. And, like, when it comes to, like, Bigfoot and stuff like that, like, these stories of encounters and stuff get told repeatedly, and eventually you hear it so many times, you're like, well, I mean, I guess it's true. Like, but it's just not, it's not how truth works, you know?
Yeah.
In the words of Donald Trump, fake news. China. He says China a lot. I just like the way he says it.
Cool.
China.
Anyways, that wraps up this episode of Mountain Beast Mysteries. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you didn't, let us know. If you did, let us know. The comment section. You can write anything you want there.
Yeah, you could push the positivity or increase the negativity. However you feel like.
Live your life.
Yeah. And we will live ours.
Hey, if you liked the episode, comment, share, subscribe. Any other topics you'd like us to talk about, as always, put them below, and we'll catch you next time.